Good morning, everyone.
Hello all. It's better for me here because I really want to be closer. And it's really uncomfortable for me just to speak because I really want to be in eye levels with you. It's because this is the way becomes more human. So I'm really glad to be here in Lviv, in Ukraine, together with you. It's first time for me in Ukraine. And I can say that I know a lot about you, but maybe not so much. Even I listen to Snyder a lot, but I feel that we have a lot in common. And today I will speak about transformations of Soviet-built environment and about our lessons we learned. And you can learn from us and be much, much, much better. So please do that and ask questions, and we will try to help. So here is beautiful land without the borders. And here is Lviv, where we are now. And just orthogonally, here's Vilnius. But we cannot go, now from Vilnius to Lviv like just straight. We can just go all around Poland because of not so friendly neighbors. But we are very close, and we have the same history, and very beautiful history, with Vikings and so on, if you listen to Tony Snyder. But something happened. Oh, but we also have terrible history. We also share this history, and it was occupation of Soviet Union. And maybe a lot of you, and as me, lived in Soviet Union not so long, but actually we live it today because 80% of our environment is still Soviet built. And this is for you and for us also now to think about what we can do about it and to redefine the values. So here I'm with my team of Rebuild the Wonderful. Here is the team with also Vyshyvankas. And this is our initiative to share the Soviet inheritance, Soviet transformations to all Central and Eastern Europe and to build it better. I'm also co-founder of Do Architects. This is architecture office based in Vilnius. We are 70 architects now, and we also like to transform. So this is our office in a former factory of beton, of cement, and we also like to transform from, working environment to party environment. So, because it's transformation also. And these pictures are because they are also important because they let you to know how the space actually transforms you and me and all us together. And if we, as architects, and most of us, we are architects, thinking firstly how to program the space, how that it would transform us, and then to design it, then it would be like very, very different things happening. And this territory, I am amazed by it, because this is transformation, and this is changing our moods and lives. So I said we share history. Of course, you know that, that we share history. And we have a lot of beautiful things in the past. So when you tell your, I don't know, friends, foreign friends or something about your city, of course you show the old town, right? This is our glorious past. And do you recognize where is Lviv and where is Vilnius? Really, not so much, because they are so similar, because they are built in the same values, in the same roots. We share the roots. Also, where is Vilnius and where is Lviv? You cannot guess, because they are the same. And they also built in the same values, but not our values. It was their values, and we didn't change it. We still live with it, and we don't question it, because we just adapted and we moved on. But we didn't move on with the spaces. What we also did in these 32 years of our independencies, We tried to build better, and we tried to renew things for better, but we repainted the same Soviet values. We just made, reconstructions and repaintings and installations of the same Soviet values, not by our values. Remember the first slides of our old towns. And this is also, you wouldn't guess, where is Vilnius and where is Lviv? They look the same. They look the same. And maybe this is our modern and our future city also. Here is Lviv, here is Vilnius. And this is not only new buildings, but also a new approach and new thinking about our environment where we want to spend our lives. So we built a wonderful, and we have these nice postcards. We with team just put it there so you can all grab it up. Is initiative which aims to promote human-centered transformations of standard socialist built everyday buildings and spaces in Central and Eastern Europe. And this is very, very important because the amount of time we spend daily in the spaces actually is kindergartens, homes, and streets. And normally, as architects, we really want to design cathedrals, theaters, and concert halls. And this is like how much % of time we can spend there when we're still living in this not our values environment. And Soviet period spaces in Lithuania, I don't know how much about this in Ukraine, but I guess it's a little bit even more or slightly similar, is kindergartens and schools is about 80% built in Soviet Union. And in Soviet Union propaganda, right? Because spatial propaganda is the worst thing because it's invisible. You cannot see it. You just can feel it. It's homes, it's around 50%, and streets, about 95%. So what we did also when the war began, I started thinking like maybe in the first week, what we can do to help Ukraine. And of course I cannot go to field, maybe I can, but I wouldn't make my best. But what we can do, I thought that we could collect the positive transformations of the standard kindergarten, schools, homes, and streets, and share this library with Ukraine. And I thought it will be like mega big project. It will be thousands of good projects, but it was only 15. Because in all the region, we're still just repainting, not transforming. So it's about the recharging the standards we think, we live, and we design for. So I will start with kindergartens and schools, and maybe explain you our also like examples, what we did that could be used here in Lviv and in other Ukrainian cities. So what if all of our kindergartens taught us about the comfort and coziness that space could bring? Oops, sorry. So this is an extension of kindergarten Peledukas and of the Soviet age type. And this is actually the first state-funded kindergarten with such a transformation in 32 years. So please do the frog jump and build thousands of these, because what we did in these 32 years, we only repainted the walls. But it's very important, and now it's open like for 2 years, and we can all see how it changes not only kids, not only teachers, but parents and neighbors. And all the city, because the city is also Soviet built, and there are, as you know, there are no public spaces, like cozy public spaces where naturally people can come and be together. In all these presentations, a nice colleague from abroad told you, we have such fields with concrete blocks and still now repainted in bright colors, but the program is the same. So what we did, we extended it with extension, with wooden warm extension, but most importantly, what we did in the most popular type of the kindergarten, what we did, we said that there should be one entrance through the courtyard, and all other entrances should be blocked. And that's it. That's it. This changed all the routine. And listen, because here's very, very important message. By architecture, we can change people's routines, and we can join people or we can separate people. And this transformation led for the very, very beautiful and very nice transformation of all the neighborhood, not only for parents and kids, but all the neighborhood, because through the kids, also the transformations is in families and in the other neighborhood. So this is, I know, you all have been here, and this is so simple, just to put some walls out of it and to make the common spaces, because in the Soviet times, there were no public spaces. Look, here's corridor, is a main gathering space. And it is the scale not in one, but thousands of kindergartens. And kindergarten is the first public building where little kids come and meet not known people, right? So it is super important how you will come to him, how you will make relationship with him. And such, you would never come to people you like in such a corridor. But here, in like this transformable, very nice, cozy hall, which unites all the functions, you will do this. And I guess from the pictures, you can understand what effect it did. It did tremendous effect on the like little abandoned city near Vilnius. Little city. And these classrooms became like actually, it's somewhere missing, something different. And this is example which I think illustrates is the best, that we put this cooking lady who was working in this kindergarten for 20 years in the basement, to the first floor near the entrance with a look to courtyard. And we make a window, as also David showed this class with the dancing lessons. And I really thought that it will make the huge effect on kids because they see how they cook. But actually, the biggest change was for the cooks, because they became the cook stars. Really, they became the stars of the kindergarten and of the neighborhood. And they started to cook. Like really a lot of cooks, sweets, candies, virgin mojitos, virgin pina coladas, or stuff like this. And they started to sell them. They started organizing on Saturdays or Sundays some kind of fest or something like this. But it became naturally. You wouldn't design like cultural center, or you wouldn't design something, you know, unnatural. It became natural because just the space allows you to do it. And what I'm telling them, now that you always have been such a, you know, welcoming, such a welcoming persons, but you just didn't have conditions to do that. Because in that kitchen, with that corridor, or that hall, you would never, you know, just be inspired to make some cooking or something like this. So it was most beautiful opening party in all my experience of 20 years being an architect, because when cutting the red, you know, string, people were thinking about architecture. Like it is Polish and Lithuanian kindergarten, and they were, of course, seeing all the construction site, and they were thinking about very big and wide windows and very tall doors. And I'm looking forward to meet them after 20 years and actually ask them what the memory is. Because we also did the memory research about the Soviet kindergartens, all the memory from Lithuania, from Poland, from Ukraine are the same, is that memories. We also built a school in Vilnius, in Lithuania, in Soviet environment, which also delivers different message. It's about uniting people in different scale, about gathering people, and not separate people. And just very, very shortly about homes. That homes has to be, and this is also reconstruction of Soviet residential building of my cousin, that we can change it. We can change it and we can recharge it with very simple but very, very wise design. And streets, they are very, very important. The streets would have life, and you have this life. You're actually much more sociable than we are, like much, much, much more social than we are, but let's celebrate in the Soviet rayons street life. I really inspired to do that, because from these streets in Lithuania, like this is industrial city in Lithuania, we did a lot of transformations, and this also changed neighborhoods and lives. So, and this is done only like last 3 or 4 years of 32 years of independence. And I say, why? Nobody, was pushing us and asked us this question, but you are actually questioning it now, defining our values. So this is super important. For example, street market is minus 27. I don't know if you have it. Full of people, because they missed to be together. So our initiative, Rebuild the Wonderful Ukraine. We did this event with Oleg Drozdov last year, and we asked him, how could we help? And he said, we saw the transformations. So we are helping. We collected all this library of good, positive examples in Central and Eastern Europe. I said it was only 15 from Bulgaria, from Romania, from Poland, only 15 good, positive examples of these standard socialistic buildings. But please let's us look. It's Rebuild the Wonderful. You will see the contacts on the postcards there, just to be inspired and show them, I don't know, to politicians, to people who can do this, that, or maybe people, this is from Sofia, who can actually change this. And last project, we are doing this with Big City Lab. Victoria, she is. She will give also a lecture on this, about the standard schools and kindergartens, and look how much of them are still in built in Soviet values, and how much we can recharge it with very smart, typical new values. So these are numbers, they are big, but I want to close it with a future and with growing future, and I hope this inspired you to think about transformations and think about Soviet, inheritance as a building material. And it's important not to demolish everything, but to use it wisely and to save also for different fabulous, wonderful things. So thank you very much for your time. Слава Україні!
Величезне спасибі, Гільма.
So much, Gilma. Wonderful presentation and for sticking to timing. I think that we will have our comments and time for one question. Gilma is here, so this is very precious. Come up and meet her in person. If you don't know English, ask our volunteer. I can, thank you.
Yeah. I will read in English. Okay. You said that you were rebuilding Soviet values, for example, by repainting children's playgrounds and not restoring your own values. But as you know, although the Soviet era is negative for us, many groups of the population will not be able to eradicate these values from their own worldview and will continue to consider it correct, knowingly or not. The participation is very important for planning the city and for architecture. So we should be respectful for every point of view and even these people. The reconstruction of cities according to new plans may be incomprehensible to some people, especially the older generation. On the basis of this, there is a conflict of interests, namely between those who are strive for a new architectural future of their own country and values, and supporters of the so-called Soviet mood and way of life. So have you encountered this, and what to do in such a case?
Thank you very much. If I understood correctly, you're asking me that is different opinion that people want to not to change anything, right?
Yeah, it's like participation is really important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Yes, I know this. So we also have the same in Vilnius, and half of Vilnius are really enjoying new streets with bike lanes and with pedestrians and a lot of cafes and a lot of bushes there, but half of them are protesting. And now I'm writing the preface for Jan Gehl book of Cities for People in Lithuania, which will be translated, and I just looked for the story and history in Copenhagen. It's like really the same, like it was in '62 when it was like the first pedestrian streets transformed, transit street transformed to pedestrian street, and it was such a drama, such a lot of protests that we don't want to, but half of it wanted. It was assassination for the mayor and stuff like this. We have the same in Vilnius actually, and I think this is. Part of people want to change, part of people are afraid to change. But I think, of course, we have to listen and of course we have to speak, but change is sometimes not so easy. Not so easy. And I really respect the Lviv mayor and the mayor of Mariupol, which were speaking, and also Mr. Mustafa, which were speaking very strongly about the changes, but also with the question, look, give me a vision how to do it. Because sometimes people want to change, but are afraid or don't know where to start. So I think it's important, these conferences like this, media and stuff like this, pictures, how people live in different environments, that this could be not so radical. But it will be, a little bit it will be radical. It's just the way it is. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you.
Зі свого боку я можу додати, що, мабуть, таким прикладом
I can add that there's another vivid example of trying to find to this issue, to build on architecture. We should give it a try and preserve it. Heritage is a conference we have in Kyiv around the building of Ukraine. As far as I understand, we are talking about projects and designs that are being transformed in Kyiv, a sample of modernist architecture in each crucial heritage for us. So thank you for your presentation.